Welcome to the Level Up Sports Network. Here for the third ever PGA Connecticut PGA Tour podcast with Ben. Very surprising for most. Ben is on the Connecticut PGA Tour podcast this Wednesday. He's joining us from Italy. I'm not in as exciting place. Still in Connecticut, but he's in a very beautiful place. As I saw the pictures in Italy, and yeah, it's been the last week of the PGA Tour season, the regular season, moving on to the playoffs, and it's a pretty exciting time of year for golf in general. As we do start with another non-sports update, this one not as exciting as LeBron or Tariq Skubal to the Dodgers, which is very exciting. But check out on my YouTube channel Silas Demery, as I got the auto, and Colbin Landrew, who's coming from Georgia, one of the best high schools in the country. He's a freshman for UConn, and I met both of them, had a bit of a blind ranking. Stuff like that. Ask Silas a question, and it's really cool. So definitely check that out on my YouTube channel. And super excited for the UConn season. All these guys on this basketball. A lot not here anymore. Alex Caravan, but we still got Jalen Stewart. We still got guys like that. Jaden Ross will be making a big difference, and especially Braylon Mullins coming back for another year. But super excited for UConn's season this year. And I know you're a Duke fan, but do you think UConn has a chance at the national championship?
No offense. It's not because I hate them that much, but I think they're a good team, but I don't think they're just quite good enough yet to take all the way. But I still think they'll have a good season, good March Madness, but I don't think they're ready, and they don't have quite the talent they did a couple of years ago. And I think they make a good run, but not all the way to the national championship.
Yeah, and I just realized that I haven't even let you talk yet, but just super excited, and definitely check out the shorts. One asking Silas Demery a question, and then the blind ranking, which spent a lot of time on. So just moving on to the takeaways from the Wyndham Championship. It was a great week for me, especially with my prediction of Michael Brennan being the champion last week. It did end up happening. First time ever that I think I've predicted the winner of a tournament. So pretty excited about that. But other than Michael Brennan, what are two players that really caught your eye this week, doing good or bad?
So, you had a good prediction, and then you had one of the worst predictions we've ever seen. With your prediction, I was saying that you never say stuff about Ben James, and you never doubt Ben James, Leo, and he proved that to you. As I thought he had a really really good tournament.
The one time I doubted him, he had the best tournament he's ever had.
Yeah, getting up there, it's played really well. He was playing really good in the final round too, making himself a contender all the way through this tournament and a threat to the other players. And I think, hey, Leo, you never doubt Ben James ever again, as he delivered in North Carolina. And then my other player is someone who many of you guys don't know, someone who also finished at the top of the leaderboard. His name has to be Beau Hossler.
Bo
Hossler, my bad. I mean, I haven't heard a lot of this dude. I've heard of his name a couple of times, but not many. And he showed that people should be thinking of him, and people should know him, as he had a great day round one, and then he just played good all the way through. Oh, he was only one back of Michael Brennan in the final round. He also put himself out there as a threat to other players, and the way he played through round one all the way through round four was really impressive to see from a player who no one expects to do good. No one really knows his name, but now everyone who's a golf fan should know his name after a great tournament.
Yeah, I'm sure some people know his name. I've definitely heard of him. He's been up there for a few years. Not super old guy, but kind of younger, kind of. But he had a great tournament. He kind of got screwed over, especially on Saturday when they're like, oh, they blow the horn and then they put him back out there for 10 minutes and then they blow the horn again. He's like going out and back because they keep blowing the horn because the weather was crazy on Saturday and on Friday. They literally blew the horn probably like 10 times this tournament. It was kind of disappointing, but I think definitely could have won, and the only way to make it into the FedEx Cup playoffs was to win, and he ended up doing that, just coming short in 72nd, just missing out on the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Moving on, Ben James, totally never will doubt him again, but my two takeaways. First up, well, Ben James. I had that written on our script here. Ben James with a laughing emoji, pretty much because he's always my favorite player. I talk so much about him, and then I say he's not gonna have a good week. And he had the best week. Shot a Sunday 61, and just a great tournament for him. Even with a bad Saturday, I think he could have easily won if he had just a decent Saturday with how he played on Sunday. And I won't doubt him again. He didn't end up making it into the FedEx Cup playoffs, but definitely a lot ahead for Ben James. And then Brooks Koepka. I know you added that later. I already had that up here, and you can totally chime in on this. So Brooks Koepka, he shot the first round. He shot 3 under. I thought he could have a pretty solid week. He didn't end up having a very solid week. He kind of had over par a few days, and what was really kind of satisfying for him to say how, he was so disappointed in himself. He's had a terrible season. The one opportunity he gets to get back on the PGA Tour, he does not do anything with it, has no good appearances except for at the Myrtle Beach Classic, which is an opposite field event. So kind of, what do you think about Brooks Koepka, and what does he have to do next year?
So yeah, that's a crazy word to say. His season and like this tournament has been pathetic. That's like strong words for a man who's won many majors. And he's done better than many other golfers, but he's just, for someone who's a major champion, you're expecting a little bit more. And he's had some good first rounds, and he has in tournaments he's been having like just one good round. He needs to play good in all 4 rounds of the tournament instead of just one. Even if you just play well in 3 and then you play decent in 1, you can still be at the top of the leaderboard. He was just playing, he would have one good, then like 2 decent, and then a bad round, and that's not enough to make the top 10 or the top 20 in a PGA Tour event with other strong players. So he just needs to play good, not just in 1 round, but even just 3. Just get more good rounds in a tournament instead of just 1.
Yeah, super disappointing. I was excited for Brooks Koepka, one of the legendary guys, and he said, from a guy who's won so many tournaments, it's really disappointing to have such a pathetic season, as he said. And just moving on, Michael Brennan. I can start, obviously. My pick last week, Michael Brennan, to win. Ben, I don't really think you believed in me about
No, I
that.
did. I totally believed you. I remember last week. I was when I was putting together who I thought was gonna win. He was like one of my top 5 players, but I decided not to pick him, and I really liked the take.
Yeah, he won in Utah in the FedEx Cup fall. I don't know when it was recently. And he's just really emerged this season in the past few weeks of the tour. And as you showed on his interview after the round, his mom said we're going to Augusta, and I think he can really perform in the FedEx Cup playoffs, especially how good he's been performing recently in the past just 3 or 4 weeks. So Michael Brennan, what do you think, and can he really perform and make it far in the playoffs?
Oh yeah, I mean I know he's in that. Will he right now? Is he in tour championship position?
No, he's at 47 right now.
Okay, so he's in BMW position, which is good, and he'll be playing this week at the FedEx and then next week at the BMW. And I think
if it's still possible for him to go down past 50.
But I'm saying, according to my predictions, I don't think he will go down past that 50 mark. I think he can do some damage. I don't think he'll come home with a trophy in any of these tournaments, but he could go ahead of some of the top players and make deep runs and be a threat to other players and maybe even get a couple top 10 finishes. And I think he can still play well and maybe even get into that tour championship position. I think I'm not done with Michael Brennan and I hope you are not too. Most people should not be done with Michael Brennan this year, and I think he can keep being a threat to other golfers, and he can make runs in every single tournament still left to be played in this year.
I certainly am not done with him, and if he can make it into that tour championship position, there is so much money on the line. If you win that, you get so much money. I don't even know how much, but the winner, it's like crazy. The caddy even gets millions of dollars. So it's a great money maker, really, and really building your tour card for the next few years. As our fantasy football chat seems to be making some noises, but so yeah, moving on. Michael Brennan, thank you so much for making my prediction correct, and we move on for the FedEx St. Jude Championship. And as we learned before we kind of preview the tournament for this year, we learned recently that it will not be a part of the championship series, even though it's currently in the premiere of the PGA Tour season in the playoffs, but they're moving it back down to the Challenger Series. Haven't loved the crowds. I really haven't loved the tournament compared to the BMW or the Tour Championship, and they'll be on that Challenger Series. Maybe they'll be able to work their way up, but I think I really agree with that. And what do you think about that for 2028? We have a bit of a black screen. We will take a bit of a break. Welcome back, everybody, to the Level Up Sports Network. Sorry, guys, for that. But the question I was asking you, Ben, for the technical difficulties was, what do you think about the FedEx St. Jude Championship not being on the Championship Series and being on the Challenger Series in 2028?
Don't get me wrong, TPC Southwind is a great course. We all know that. I would be happy to play there any day of the week. But there's other courses like TPC River Highlands, our home course, Pebble Beach, Bay Hill, and other ones who will be on the PGA Tour, the Tour Series.
Championships.
My bad, I can't speak today. The
along with maybe Pine Valley and stuff like that with the Tour Championship.
Those are some of the best courses in the world, and I don't think TPC Southwind is not just quite on the level of some of these other courses. So I like the play, but I think that maybe in a couple of years we could see TPC Southwind and the FedEx St. Jude Championship get back on the championship series. I mean, we never know, but right now I just think the courses that we have and the courses that could be on this series are a lot better than TPC Southwind.
Yeah, I totally agree at that point, and I don't know, for some reason the FedEx St. Jude Championship hasn't been the most exciting tournament out of the playoffs. It's probably been the least exciting tournament for a few years. I don't know why, but kind of happy and really excited to see how this whole championship and Challenger Series is going to work out. And are they going to be on the same weeks? Like, there's going to be one tournament there and one tournament the other place. And to be honest, like some of my favorite golfers are little golfers that not a lot of people know about, and not a lot of people know that he's not. Some of them might not be very good compared to the other ones, and sometimes I think it will be fun to watch the Challenger Series. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's not like it's players our level playing golf. It's people. They're still pros. They're still really good. I mean, it might not be as exciting as the actual championship series, but I think think it will be entertaining as some other golf tournaments, and I think that'll still be fun to watch, and I'll definitely watch it probably.
Yeah, me too. And I think it's way more exciting, definitely, than like Corn Ferry Tour. And
Yeah.
I think it will be also super exciting seeing these guys being promoted and demoted from the Challenger and Championship. But moving on, we got our sleeper miscut top 15 and a win. Moving on, as always, Ben, first up with let's see your sleeper pick for
Okay,
the FedEx PGA Championship.
I
You
have
always
two.
have two.
Okay, yeah, I always have two of something. Today it's sleeper pick. So my first one is is Alex Noren. Norin. I think I said that right.
Yep.
I think he had a great tournament last week. I mean, he's been good earlier on. Had a couple good. I think he played good in the Masters last year or some major. And he hasn't been that good. But after I saw him play last week, and I think that the way this course plays, and I think that Norin could be a good fit to um to make a deep run and finish top 30 this week. And then my other sleeper is you'll hear a lot about people with this last name today. I have Tom Kim as my other sleeper. He had one win I think this year earlier on. And after T3 last week, and he's just been playing good golf. He had a good final round at the Open, I believe, getting up there on the leaderboard. And I think that he's been playing great golf, and he can continue to do it at TPC Southwind in a course that sort of kind of styles his game with some nice putting and good around the greens. And I think Tom Kim can really shine at TPC Southwind, and he could also finish top 30.
Yeah, and totally agree with that take, both of those takes really. And Tom Kim, I don't know if you know, I wouldn't really consider him a sleeper. He won the Scottish Open this year. And he's had a great year so far and in the past few weeks, and he's been playing great. I wouldn't even consider him a sleeper, especially winning the Scottish Open. He's already up there in the rankings because Scottish Open's a signature, not maybe not a signature, but a big event.
Yeah.
And so my sleeper is I only have one sleeper because I feel like in the playoffs, all the players are so good. It's kind of hard to get a sleeper player. But my sleeper is going to be the same as yours. Again, it was actually mine. And I have a bit of a connection to him. So Alex Noren. At my grandparents' club in Florida, he's actually a member there, and I've done a chipping clinic with him. He's a super nice guy. Got to talk to him a bunch. And last year, he was injured for half the season, and he still got in the top 50 of the FedEx Cup playoff rankings. And I think this year he's also in the top 50 without being injured, and he had a great week last week. He's had a great few weeks, and some other wins. If you didn't know about him, on the DP World Tour, he won the BMW PGA Championship, which is one of their biggest tournaments, and he also won the British Masters, which is two of the biggest tournaments on the DP World Tour. So I think he's going to have a great week this week at the FedEx.
Okay, I'll go for top 15 next.
Or maybe miscut.
Is there a cut?
There's not a cut.
Yeah, but we'll just do finish at the bottom.
Yeah, same bottom.
Okay, mine was someone who's right now he's sitting in the top 30 in Tour Championship position. I have my miscut is JT Posted. He sits at exactly 30 on the FedEx Cup thing. He's had some good tournaments earlier on in the year, but and those are the reasons that he's in this event. But later on in the season, and as of recent, we haven't really seen him up on the top of the leaderboard. And I'm expecting the exact same this week, and I don't think that he'll have the week he has been having earlier on in the year, and I just don't think he's been that good of late. He can't really find the game he was playing earlier on this year, and he hasn't been playing top tier golf in a while. Not that long, but not yet recently. So I think that he's someone who can finish towards the bottom of the leaderboard.
Yeah, I I have to disagree with that, definitely. He won the Memorial earlier in the year, which is a signature event. And the other thing is, why is Max Homa in the FedEx St. Jude Championship? I thought he
What?
was having a bad year.
I haven't seen him make the cut once this year.
I
What position is he in? Like,
oh,
I looked
it
at the.
says
I didn't really see him earlier on. I was checking.
he's at one sec. He's at 52nd.
He's almost in BMW position. That's insane.
Well, he got a second at the John Deere. That was it. And he also got a top 10 at the Masters. So, yeah, so I think he has to be my
Yeah, I would have to agree. I didn't know.
he has to be my miscut or bad week because I just think he hasn't had a very consistent year and I was surprised he even was in it. But I'll just go with my top 15 right now and I think my top 5 actually you can go with your top 15.
Okay, I would have to agree with that miscut. I didn't know he was in it. He definitely would have been my bad week. I didn't know he was in it, but okay. So I'll go to my top 15. I told you earlier that I'm gonna like the Kims today, and we're going for another Kim in Michael Kim, someone who's been very good of late. Earlier, he's been shooting good rounds with the 59. With 59s. He had a good week, I think, at the WM Phoenix Open earlier on this year, and having a good finish again in the last week and the week before. And as within the past like 5 weeks, he's been up there on the leaderboard every single time. And I just think he's going into this, he's probably I would say the hottest golfer. Not the hottest golfer, but definitely a top 5 hottest golfers as of late. And I think that he keeps the hot streak and he is not going cold anytime that soon. And I think Kim can have a good week finishing in the top 15.
A bunch of things just popped into my head too. The past 3 weeks we've had crazy young winners on the PGA Tour. We had Jackson Koivin at 21 or something like that. And then we had Michael Thorbjornsen somewhere low 20s, and then Michael Brennan, 2 Michaels in a row. Michael Brennan at 24. So I think we really need to talk about how this is really inspiring us and how 3 weeks in a row on the PGA Tour we have players less than 25 winning.
Yeah, I would agree. Like back-to-back weeks, that just new level of just inspiring. And if you're a young golfer, I'm definitely inspired. You guys should be too. This is just very inspiring to me.
Yeah, definitely. And my top 15, I follow his fiance on stuff. Sahith Theegala. He had a great week this week until his Saturday he hit a ball, he hit it in the trees and it only went on driver, it went 115 yards. So less than I hit it, and he kind of had a bad Saturday and Sunday, but I think he can really have a great FedEx St. Jude. He's a great player. He's only ever won once on the PGA Tour, even though he's always up there and he's always having a great year. So I think I got to go with Sahith Theegala for my top 15. And I might as well just go with my win here. My win is going to be a guy who won already this year. He won, and he's been battling a bunch of stuff with brain cancer, stuff like that. He came back, a lot of stuff he had to deal with, and that is Gary Woodland. So I got to go with Gary Woodland. I think he's going to have a great week, and I think he really fits with this course. He hasn't won in a bit, and this would just be such a great story if he wins in the
FedEx. Yeah, I agree, but about the Sahith, I'm not saying that's a bad pick, but last time this didn't get posted, but it was before the Travelers. Last time you picked Sahith Theegala to have a good week, he did the exact opposite. At the Travelers, you picked him to win and finishing at, below 60. He had a bad week there, so maybe Sahith won't have a good week, and you might jinx Sahith again. But hey, I like the pick. Good picks from you. My win is okay, guys. This is gonna be simple. You're gonna say everyone's gonna boo me. They're gonna be like, "This is so obvious." I have Scotty Scheffler winning my FedEx Cups at St. Jude. St. Jude. I mean, last year he got the win here at this course. He's good at this course, and he can play at this course. He was good earlier on this year. He's been also shining in some of the smaller tournaments and in the majors, most of the majors. I think he hasn't had a breakthrough yet in like one of the biggest tournaments, and I think it comes now to course he's familiar with, and he always plays good at the end of the season. Scotty Scheffler, he starts the heat up at the beginning of the year, plays bad in the middle of the year, and then heats up again right at the end of the season. And I think that heat streak starts this week at TPC Southwind, and I think he gets the win.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. He hasn't won in a while. He got T3 last year. Meanwhile, last year it was a great finish. JJ Spawn and Justin Rose ended up winning, leading to his first win. Not his first win, but he kind of came back at the age of 40 something, and then he ended up winning this year at the Farmers Insurance, and I think that was a really great year, especially with that playoff between JJ and Justin. But moving on, Live Golf. Last week we were talking about kind of the obvious fact that they're probably going to be done. This week, Joaquin Neiman wins at Live Golf New York at President Trump's course. Actually, he was in attendance, but Joaquin Neiman won one of the last Live Golf events ever, probably with only a few left in the season. It looked great, despite how little money it is, and kind of what did you think about Live this week?
Yeah, it was one of the most entertaining tournaments we've seen at Live Golf. Of course, a great course. Um, a great course. And Neiman he played some great golf, beating out other great Live players. And I know this dude. Many of you do. I have seen him in every major. He was good on the DP World Tour, but now he's on Live, I guess. But I think that he's a great golfer, and he could do some damage on the PGA Tour when he gets there, if he gets there. And he's done some damage in some of the majors, and he played good golf. I think Live Golf was pretty entertaining this week. Not that I watched a lot of it. I only watched a little bit, but I saw some highlights and stuff like that, and it looked pretty entertaining. And I know you were there, Leo.
I actually was not there, but
you said you were gonna go.
Yeah, I was planning on going, but I didn't end up going. But my brother did, and he said it actually looked really great. And you still think that they're gonna be done after this year, right?
I mean, yeah, I probably do, but I think didn't they just get a little bit more money?
I think it was something about that. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I mean, they could be. I mean, Live Golf is definitely. If it, I don't. I'm not. I don't think it will be back by next year. But I think that they're getting closer to try to get it to get next year. And even if it does go next year, it won't be that entertaining. And I don't think many of the good players will try to come back, even if it does. And I'm pretty sure that it won't. But they're getting closer to trying to do that.
Yeah, I know. I heard they got some new money. Hopefully it doesn't happen. Hopefully all the PGA or Live guys can get back on the PGA Tour. Maybe next year, or maybe like we said for the Challenger and the Championship in a past episode. But let's move on to the FedEx Cup bubble. We talked about it a lot in last episode, and let's kind of just recap that. As I will pull up. One sec, I will pull up my. Can you see this? Oh, and here we go. So if you guys can see this,
yep.
here's the FedEx Cup rankings. And so last week we kind of had a lot of guys, Keegan, Bradley, Brant Snedeker, guys a lot back, trying to get in. And we had a lot of them getting in. And what I've kind of learned is that a lot of guys kind of stay in that top 70 and no guys really go in the past few years. And I didn't really realize that. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, like the last tournament, I thought it was going to be a little bit more entertaining to see who can make it through, who cannot. But for me, it wasn't that entertaining, and I thought it was going to be a bit more. But I mean, you can't always expect the most entertaining. Some things are not as fun as others. But
Yeah,
one
and
thing I wanted to talk about was we all thought last week that Koiven was going to easily make it in, and we were surprised to see his name at 70. But he was, in my opinion, he was really lucky to get through and stay there as he sits at 70, being the last person to get in. I think he was pretty lucky not having the best tournament in North Carolina. And I was expecting a little bit more, and I was expecting him to maybe be at maybe around 65, 64 going into the FedEx St. Jude's Championship, but he didn't really show that. So I'm sort of disappointed with Koiven played. Maybe the pressure of being on the bubble affected him, but if I was Koiven, I would be relieved to get through to the FedEx St. Jude's.
yeah, he barely did, and certainly I won't be picking a lot of guys to make it in from out of that bubble. So yeah, I was kind of surprised that he got in. A lot of good guys getting into the playoffs that are kind of sneaky. Matty Schmidt has played great. Ricky Castillo winning one of
I
the
love
opposite
Ricky.
field events.
Ricky,
Aldrich Potgieter, one of those
that's
guys. But
home.
let's move on to the next bubble that we're going to be predicting. Our final objective of the day before our favorite time of the day, Ben's fun fact of the day. But let's just look at this bubble real quick. So I'm just going to say a few guys. First, guys that really intrigue everybody who's watching this. First up, Jordan Spieth. Do you think he's going to be able to get in, one of the fan favorites?
I do not. I don't think he hasn't really played the best golf. He's decently in there, but I think he won't have the best tournament in my opinion in FedEx, and I don't think he'll have enough to get into the BMW.
Yeah, and I have to agree with that. Maybe he'll get close, but I just think with the past trends, I don't think he's going to be able to. Last week, a cool story playing with his best friend Justin Thomas on Sunday. But next up, Max Homa is the other guy who we both said who's going to have a bad week. I assume after you said that, you're saying he's not going to make it in.
Definitely not. I'm surprised he's this high up on the leaderboard, and no way, in my eyes, 0% chance he makes it through. And he has another one of those Max Homa weeks.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think he might make it close, and I mean I'm not very strongly feeling about this, but I still think he's gonna have a bad week and not make it in. But just two guys that we've been talking about earlier in the episode, Michael Brennan and Alex Noren. I assume we're both gonna say they're staying in.
Definitely.
Yep, and
I think two of those, they might even make the tour championship position.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. And Eric Cole, Sahith Theegala, other guys that are making.
I don't think me personally, another person who I think it might be a hot take. I think he won't make it into the BMW championship. I think Rio Hisatun, he was really good earlier on this year, and as of late, most people probably even forgot his name. I forgot who he even was until now, where I saw him at the bottom of the leaderboard missing the cut again. And I think Hisatun will have a bad week as well, and I think he'll be on the bubble for the BMW championship, but he's definitely going to be close to not making it or making it in.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. That's exactly what I was going to say. Rio Hitsatsune. that is. Well, I think he'll stay in. I think he's gonna have a bad week, maybe moving back just because he's at 43. I don't think he can
Yeah.
move back. But he had a great year at the beginning of the year. I think he had one win, but on the West Coast swing, he was up there in every single tournament, leading every single tournament, and everybody knew about him. And now everybody's kind of forgotten about him. But guys, in the bubble, like in the BMW Championship as of
Eric.
now, I think are really strong. And guys beyond maybe are not the strongest. Sudarshan Maju. I know we've talked about him a bit on this channel. I just think that it's not going to be able to work out, and I think similar to this week, everybody's kind of going to stay where they are, and nobody's really going to get in, and nobody's really going to get out.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's probably going to be the same as last week. Most people, I think, are probably going to stay. They are. And it's gonna be not as entertaining as maybe some of the majors or other tournaments we've seen.
Yeah, and as Ben just mentioned to me, I totally forgot about what a part of our agenda. Kind of just speak on that because I'm not super familiar with that thing about Tony Finau and Keegan Bradley.
So Tony Finau and Keegan Bradley, two people who missed the FedEx Cup, they had, I forget how long the streak was, but they had a streak of over 2 years, I think, of making the FedEx Cup and going on to the end of the season every single time. They've had this streak for a while, and now both of them, their streak is broken as Keegan Bradley missed out by a couple spots, and Tony Finau wasn't even close. But so basically, that's what happened. Tony Finau and Keegan Bradley, their streaks basically broke of making playoffs, making the FedEx Cup playoffs. I don't know if it's the BMW included, but just the FedEx Cup playoffs. So I think maybe Leo, you can say what you think about how Keegan and Tony Finau broke their streaks of making the FedEx Cup.
Yeah, and I think both of them just hasn't looked great as of recently, and I think they've honestly looked a little older as they are some veteran greats in the game. But kind of disappointing. I feel like I haven't seen Keegan under par. He's been over par a lot, except for really when he's playing at the Travelers, which he always has a great week at. And so both of those guys, super nice guys. As I always say, super nice guys. But let's move on to everybody's favorite part of the day, and then we'll recap this show and kind of move on to the next one. So Ben, what's your fun fact of the day? First up, tell me when you want the drum roll.
Okay, I'll do a little drum roll on my table, and you can do it soon. But so the first week we had a crazy college with Robert McIntyre going to McNeese, and then last week
crazy.
We talked about some Phil Mickelson getting away from college, but now we're gonna go back to players going to college.
I think the coolest one was definitely the McNeese one.
So you might think this one's cool too. And I thought I had other ones written down, but I thought this one was the most fitting based off of how the player did, did this week. The player I want to talk about is Mr. Harry Hall from England, who finished T5. And I'm going to have some news about the college. So everybody, drum roll,
wait. Could I have a pause, please? I just need to show everybody, if you're not familiar with Harry Hall, I just got to show you this real quick. I don't know if anybody has ever seen his hat. If you're not familiar with golf,
the
Harry
old
Hall.
little Scottish hat.
Yeah, this is kind of the it's a really cool hat. Can you guys see this?
There it is.
Here, this is what Harry Hall wears all the time. He looks like an old man, super nice guy, but he wears this hat every time. I don't think I've ever seen anybody other than him wear these hats. So just wanted to show everybody that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, that just something popped in my head about Harry Hall, one of the best putters on tour. I mean, it is placed somewhere where people wearing Scottish. That's where he's from. But so one of the best putters on tour, and I think I like the hat. I like him being different from all
Yeah,
the others.
he looks pretty cool with that compared to everybody else.
Wait, I just have a question for you. I know you say everyone on this who watches this podcast knows that Leo says, "Oh, he's a nice guy." But Leo, I just want to know, every player have you met them?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, you met Harry Hall? What was he like?
It was just quick. He I think he might have given me his glove. I'm not sure. Oh, I have my gloves above me. Wait, I think this might be his glove. As you guys see, Jason Kelsey and me in the background. Oh, this is Harry Hall's glove.
Oh yeah, that's sick.
Yeah. I got a bunch of stuff here. Brooks Koepka autograph. Save that for another time. But you ready for the drum roll?
Yeah, ready? Drum roll, please. Harry Hall went to.
Where did he go?
Nevada University. Did you guys like the dramatic pause? That was my dramatic pause.
I thought you were paused. I thought we had a more technical.
No, I did a dramatic pause.
Nevada University. So,
yeah, I think they're D1. They're a D1 school. Just in Nevada, Las Vegas, and he did go there with his little old Scottish hat.
And I think there must be a program making guys from Europe come to these like United States schools for golf, because this is kind of weird. These guys coming from these crazy places and playing at these random universities in the United States. So that was a great fun fact, Ben, and I think we'll just kind of close it out, Ben. How much longer are you in Italy for?
I have 5 more days here in my villa in Magione on Lake Trasmeno. I think that's how you say it, but that's where I am right now in a villa. I have 5 more days, and then I'm gonna drive. It's about an hour and 15-minute drive to the great city of Florence, one of the best cities
ever.
Best cities in Italy.
Best food there. You gotta go to Gusta Pizza.
Okay, I'll definitely get some Gusta Pizza, and I'll definitely go to Michelangelo Square and see those sunsets. But
yeah,
I'm
also
excited.
best breakfast ever at Melaleuca.
Yeah, I'll be there
Cinnamon
for
buns.
4 days, and I also went to Rome for 4 days earlier.
I saw the Colosseum.
Colosseum. I saw the Trevi Fountain, the Pantheon, and Plaza Navone. Oh, and I went to the Vatican. That one was cool. I saw the St. Peter's Basilica and
that's really cool. As we had some technical difficulties here.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to be here, and I'll be here for a little bit more still to come.
How many more weeks do you think? How many more weeks?
I think in total it's 9.
9 weeks?
Oh, no. Sorry. I don't know. I couldn't tell you that.
What?
Wait, what was the question?
What? How much longer will you be in Italy for?
Oh, 9 days is what I meant. I was trying to say days. We thought I was saying weeks. I meant days, so 9 more days.
Yeah, so I think there might be one more podcast. We'll see if Ben can join once again. If he can't, it will just be me, but hopefully he can, just like this again. And as Ben's screen does go black. But thank you guys so much for watching. As Ben was here, he's back again. But thank you guys so much for watching for the Connecticut PGA Tour podcast and the
Come back next Wednesday, guys.
Yeah, come back next Wednesday. Definitely come back next Wednesday for recapping the FedEx and previewing one more week, and then it's the Tour Championship as Ben's screen goes black once again. But thank you guys so much for joining us, and come back next Wednesday for the Level Up Sports Network for the Connecticut PGA Tour podcast. For Ben Redmond, and I am Leo Kapkov saying so long from the Connecticut PGA Tour podcast. until next Wednesday.